Let's dive right into this explainer and unpack a massive medical mystery. If you, or maybe someone you know, lives with joint hypermobility or conditions like Ehlers-Danlos Syndromes, you're probably already super familiar with a totally baffling array of symptoms that, on the surface, seem entirely disconnected. Well, today we're going to look at the human body through a totally different lens to see exactly how these symptoms are actually deeply mechanically connected. Here's how we're going to break down this invisible architecture. We'll start with the hypermobility mystery, then explore your body's internal suspension bridge, see what happens when the wires stretch, dive into plumbing under pressure, and finally wrap up with rethinking diagnosis and care. Section 1. The hypermobility mystery, connecting the dots. Okay, let's start with a medical detective story that so many hypermobile patients know all too well. It almost sounds impossible, right? Why on earth would being able to turn your head just a little further than average trigger this bizarre cascade of issues? I mean, a migraine, sudden brain fog, or feeling like you're literally about to pass out. Normally, a flexible neck and a blinding headache are treated in completely different medical departments. And for years, patients have felt totally dismissed because these incredibly diverse symptoms, things like vision changes, vertigo, POTS, nausea, tinnitus, they just look so disconnected. How do you possibly link blurry vision to a stretchy joint? Well, they actually trace back to a single culprit hidden in the body's physical physics. This isn't just some random collection of illnesses, it's actually a mechanical failure of the body's most absolutely crucial structural system. Moving to Section 2. Your body's suspension bridge, anatomy made easy. To find this culprit, we kind of have to look at the body as a mechanical engineering marvel. We really need to talk about the neuraxis. Think of the neuraxis as your body's core tension wire. It's the central axis of your entire nervous system. We're talking the brain, the spinal cord, the tough outer covering called the dura, and all the connective tissue supporting it. It's literally a continuous mechanical tract running from your head all the way down to your tailbone. Every single time you move your head, bend over, or twist around, this entire tension wire has to safely stretch, coil, and fold. But how does a wire like that actually stay in place? Enter the Myodural Bridge. If the neuraxis is your main tension wire, the Myodural Bridge acts as the suspension cables that physically anchor your nervous system directly to your muscles and bone. This bridge connects the protective sleeve of your spinal cord straight into the base of your skull and those deep muscles in your neck. And when you look super closely at the craniocervical junction, which is right exactly where your head meets your neck, you realize just how unbelievably crowded and intertwined the muscles, the spine, and that dura actually are. Every time those neck muscles move, they are directly pulling on the protective covering of your spinal cord. It's a highly sensitive, perfectly calibrated mechanical linkage. Section 3. When the wires stretch, the mechanical breakdown. So what happens when those vital suspension cables are made out of overly stretchy material? Typical connective tissue acts a lot like a resilient bungee cord. It stretches, sure, but it snaps right back securely, keeping your joints and nerves perfectly aligned. Hypermobile connective tissue, though, it acts way more like an overstretched rubber band. It has a significantly reduced capacity to actually hold those joints in place. The really crucial takeaway here is that normal, everyday movements for hypermobile patients end up causing abnormal tugging, stretching, and folding of these super delicate neural structures. Imagine the daily pain of your neck muscles improperly yanking on your spinal cord just because you casually glanced over your shoulder. And this mechanical breakdown has just massive consequences on a person's daily comfort because hypermobile joints have this extreme range of motion. The neuraxis is constantly forced to over-elongate. It literally stretches much further than it ever should. This triggers sensory alarms and muscle spasms all over the place. Your body essentially panics trying to stabilize a wobbly structure, which leads to severe fatigue, altered spinal cord motion, and even compromised blood flow to the brain. Your body is just fighting gravity and its own flexibility every single second of the day. Which brings us to Section 4, plumbing under pressure, the hydraulic failure. You see, the neuraxis isn't just a system of wires and cables. It is also a highly pressurized hydraulic plumbing system full of cerebral spinal fluid and blood. Stretchy tissues eventually lead to leaks, venous congestion, and really altered fluid pressure throughout the brain and the spine. Your brain essentially floats in this cerebral spinal fluid, and that fluid pulses down your spine with every single heartbeat. But for that to work smoothly, the pipes holding the fluid absolutely have to have structural integrity. Because of altered tissue integrity, The dural tissue in hypermobile folks act sort of like a garden hose that's lost its rigidity. And this can basically go one of two ways. First, you have idiopathic intracranial hypertension, where the hose loses its compliance and literally bulges, creating massive, crushing fluid pressure up in the skull. This leads to severe vision changes and headaches. On the flip side, you have spontaneous intracranial hypotension. Here, the fragile hose tears, creating devastating spinal fluid leaks. The fluid volume drops dramatically, causing the brain to literally sag inside the skull, which results in horrific headaches when standing up, intense nausea, and hearing changes. It's the exact same stretchy tissue problem, but it causes opposite, yet totally equally disabling hydraulic failures. And to make matters even worse, things like raised intra-abdominal pressure or mast cell inflammation, which, by the way, are extremely common in these patients, can cause blood to actually back up into the spinal veins. This venous congestion further crushes those delicate nerves inside the spinal canal. It creates this absolutely vicious cycle. The mechanical breakdown causes the plumbing to fail, and then the plumbing failure causes inflammation, which just goes right back to further weakening the mechanical structures. Section 5, Rethinking Diagnosis and Care, the Clinician's Master Plan. So understanding this invisible architecture completely shifts how medical professionals need to approach treatment. We just can't treat the headache or the nausea in isolation anymore. Here's the master plan for clinicians going forward. Step 1 is a multidisciplinary assessment, really looking at the entire biomechanical picture. Step 2 is stabilizing kinematics, which means using specialized physical therapy to teach the muscles how to properly control these hypermobile joints. Step 3 involves utilizing minimally invasive procedures, like blood patches for fluid leaks. And Step 4, reserve major surgery as an absolute last resort. This whole sequence prevents catastrophic, silo treatments and ensures we're fixing the entire system, rather than just playing whack-a-mole with isolated symptoms. And this brings us right to why Step 2 is so incredibly critical. Restoring kinematic control early is essential. Because hypermobile tissue has delayed wound healing and generally reacts really poorly to trauma, an initial insult, like jumping into a premature surgery, can easily lead to recurring injuries or totally new spinal leaks that the patient really struggles to recover from. You basically have to teach the body how to balance its suspension bridge before you go in and start surgically altering the cables. You know, the medical literature actually backs up what patients have been saying all along. So many patients have been told for years that their symptoms are just anxiety. But experts are now identifying a desperate need to completely revolutionize medical education around connective tissue disorders. Doctors absolutely need to understand the neuroaxis to avoid causing preventable harm with standard treatments that just don't work the same way on hypermobile bodies. I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. If we stop treating isolated symptoms and start treating the body's entire invisible architecture, the tension wires, the suspension cables, the hydraulic plumbing, how many of these so-called mystery illnesses could we finally solve? It's a completely new, fascinating lens to view human biomechanics through, and quite frankly, it's one that has the very real potential to change millions of lives. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the engineering of the human body.